Alright, we're just going to do an oil change today on my 2001 Durango with the 4.7 Magnum V8. The oil change process should be the same whether you have the Durango or the Ram with the 4.7 or any vans, possibly even the newer Durangos and Rams where they had the 4.7 also. If your vehicle's cold, I like to warm it up to about right there. Not too hot, but it'll warm it up so it'll flow out easier. If you're hot, then you want to let it cool off for a few minutes. Okay, so these trucks and Durangos and whatnot should have sufficient ground clearance to where you don't need to lift it up, and just make sure you're parked on level ground. And there's your oil pan bolt. On mine, it's a 1/2 inch. Okay, so once you got it loose, if your truck's hot, be careful, don't burn yourself. So I said you should let it cool off if it is. And I get it right to where it's warm, but it's not gonna burn me. Alright, now while that's draining, I'm gonna go ahead and take off the old oil filter. Okay, so here's the front of your truck. And your oil filter is gonna be right up there. Typically, there's a big ass plastic piece, and it actually will have a trap door. You pop open the door and you can get to that, but I just removed my plastic piece years ago. Alright, I just swapped sides here, so once you get this loose, it's gonna just kind of run all over the place. You're gonna want to put your pan like there. It's gonna start running. Oh shit, right there. So I'll let it drain out and then we'll pop it off. I'll wipe all this shit up. Alright, so this is what you're left with the filter out. Alright. So, on the new one, I like to put a little oil on the seal. That way, the rubber doesn't seize to the metal surface up there. So when you go to take it off the next time, it won't be too overly tight. Alright, so this is kind of interesting. I haven't really seen this before. I must not have noticed that last time I changed this. The lip of the filter actually hangs off the edge there. So you actually kind of have to offset it to get it lined up so it'll screw on. That'll explain why the seal is a little more towards the middle than the outside of this thing, because the outside just hangs off the edge there. Weird, but normal. So then you just want to get this thing nice and snug on here. About as tight as you could get it with one hand if it was dry and you didn't have oil and shit on your hands, or pretty snug with two hands. Alright, don't forget to put your bolt back in, your drain plug. Don't cross thread it, snug it down. If you're looking for a torque spec, I think Dodge says 25 foot-pounds, so anywhere between 25 30 foot-pounds of torque is about what you're looking at. You can just snug it down real good, it should be fine. Just don't over tighten it and strip it out. Alright, with the filter change, which I highly recommend, the manual says 6 quarts of oil. Just gonna add them here. Okay, so fire up. You want to get out, check for leaks. Yeah, just make sure you ain't got no leaks or nothing. Make sure everything's snug. Nothing. Then I'm gonna go take it down the road and back, and then we'll let it set for a few minutes and then check the level, see if we need to add any more. Alright, drove it a couple miles. Let it set for a few minutes. Pull our dipstick here. Wipe it off. Need 2 hands. Okay, you're gonna stick it in between those 2 lines there where it says safe. Anywhere in there is fine. I only put 5 quarts in this. Like I said, it's 6. So we'll see where we're at. Should be at the bottom of the line, or maybe even a little lower, because I still need to add some. But let's give you a perspective of what 5 quarts brings it to. I don't know if you can see, it's really bright out. It's just below the safe there. Check it one more time. Alright, yep. So that's 5 quarts. 6 quarts should bring it right up to the full line there. So I just need to add another quart. It takes 6 like it says. Should bring it up to the second line there in the safe, and it'll be full. Good to go, done.